Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you. We're going to make the bracelet that inspired these earrings. So I was talking about my process for creating a design for a bracelet, and one of my techniques is if it's something, an element that repeats itself, so like this little flowery tassel that I have using these petal beads, then I this will repeat in the bracelet. So I just do an earring to get an idea to see that everything falls the way I want them to fall. So that turned out really cool. So if you didn't see this video, go ahead and take a look and let's get going on this one. I'm so excited. So what I did was I placed everything in piles of how I want them to appear on the bracelet. So to recreate this component here. So from this to this. So we're gonna start with some Swarovski pearls as like the end of the bracelet and before the attachment. And this is going to be the attachment. This is the clasp. It's so gorgeous. So it just kind of stays with the idea of the pink flower or rose like that. Then we're going to go through and we're going to create the pattern for the flower with the petals. So we're just going to add one petal from each section. So essentially 3 in a row like that. And then this again, then through this all the way to the end of the bracelet. And I think what we're going to do is I'd like to finish it off using these little bead caps, and you squeeze them closed once you have your end of your bracelet, whatever it is. So I thought what I do, I haven't used these yet. I got them maybe a month ago and I haven't used them, so I'm not really sure. I think the hole here is going to be too big to put a crimp bead in there. So I'm going to use one of these tube crimps or crimp tubes. Let me enlarge this a bit. Let me bring this down here. Put it on my needle so you can see. So we're going to use a crimp tube for that end. So the only reason I'm telling you all of this is because this has to fit inside here. And the way we're going to do this bracelet is we're going to weave back and forth through it to create the petals and this lovely design. So let's get started. I'm using size 6 fire line, and what I've done is I've got 2 wingspans. I'm not sure how much, I need to go through multiple times to create that flowery effect. So I'm not sure if I need just 1 wingspan or 2. It is important for this, the fewer amount of knots that you put in, the better. So what I did was I took 2 wingspans, and 1 wingspan I have, just set aside, and then I went ahead and put my stop bead. So then we will build off of that. So well, that reminds me I need to go ahead and add my crimp bead, because you want to make sure that your thread, each time you do your pass, goes through the crimp beads. That's what's going to be holding everything together. So I've got my crimp bead. I'm going to go from right to left just to keep the consistency. So I also haven't decided how far in I want to start the bracelet. I have 24 karat gold plated delicas that I'm going to incorporate into this, and these are the 11/0 gold lined beads that go in between the flower petals, and then we have the crystals, and of course the Swarovskis. Oh, and I also have a 24 karat gold 3mm gold plated 3mm fire polish bead that I'm going to put in between the Swarovskis. So I actually think maybe we should put 2 of these. I'm almost thinking 3, but I don't know how long this is going to be. I'm going for my size wrist, which is under 6 inches, but I suspect it may go to 7. So some lucky person will be getting this bracelet. So let's get these guys in there too. So we'll put, I'm trying to think. Let's do 2. 2 and 2. I'll put one over here in case we need it. Okay, so I think that's the hardest part about doing a design, is figuring out what you want to do where. I would do everything, put every bead I own. And now we're going to go for the Swarovski pearl. So like that. We're going to add the next pearl, the next gold plated fire polish, and then the next pearl. This is a little awkward here. Let's put this on here and here. Okay, so now if we look at the example, we start with the clear crystal. Then we put 3 of these beads. These 1, 2, 3. The first line that we do now is going to be kind of the foundation, and then after that we don't have to. Some of the beads we don't have to add again, is what I'm getting at. So now we're going to add 3 petals. And again, now with a bracelet, because there's not a top and a bottom, you don't have to worry about which way your petals are going. But if you want to keep it consistent, you might want to suggest that this part is the bottom and this part is the top, so that the petals all go one way. Or you could, at the middle, you could these go one way and then go the other way on the other side of the bracelet. Again, choice is so hard, I find. So I'm going to go through the bottom of this petal. Then we need 1 11-0, and then the bottom of the next one, and 1 11-0, and the bottom of the next one, like that. So this is the first part of that part of the component, and then we finish this off with the brighter pink, or the opaque pink. So we're going to continue and do 4. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, 4 sets of these, and then they're going to be separated by some Swarovski pearls. So I think I'll put a gold delica before I start that. I'm thinking I'm going to put 2. Then your pearl. These are 6mm pearls, in case you're wondering. Then your fire polish, your next pearl, then 2 gold delicas. And I'm going to pull this down so you can see what I have so far. I'm going to move this to the other side. Okay. This is the fun part, is seeing this come together. So exciting. And basically, you could say it's bead weaving, but if you're going down the same line, it's more like stringing than anything. So anybody could do this. So we started with 2 gold fire polish beads, 6mm Swarovski pearl, a fire polish, a pearl, a light clear crystal, then 3 11-0s, a petal, 11-0, a petal, 11-0, petal, then your opaque crystal, 2 delicas, a pearl, fire polish pearl, 2 delicas, and then we're going to start again. So we're going to grab the clear crystal and 3 of these lovely gold lined 11-0s, and we'll start our pearl attachment. We're going to need some more of these guys. So there's 1 pearl or 1 petal, an 11-0, a petal, an 11-0, and your 3rd petal, and top it off with the opaque crystal. Once we get to the end of this single line, we can then measure it and decide, do we need to take one off or add another? So in case you're wondering about the length. So now we need some delicas. So 2 delicas, a pearl, fire polish, a pearl, and 2 delicas. Just move those guys there. And this looks lovely just like that. You could do a multi-strand of these guys. Look at that. Oh, I just love it. Okay, next we need the clear crystal and 3 11-0s. That. And we'll do our petals, 3 petals. We need some 11-0s. 1, 2, 3, and cap it off with the opaque crystal. That. So now we need our 2 delicas and a pearl, fire polish, and a pearl, 2 delicas, this is looking lovely. Okay, now this is the final one, the clear crystal. Then we need 3 11-0s, that, then our 3 petals. That, 11-0, a petal, 11-0, and a petal, topping it off with the crystal rondelle opaque. So I think this is getting long. So let me take a look with my ruler. So I'm going to move it to yeah, this is already 7 inches. So this will be too big. I think we need to take one off. Yeah, for my size anyway. If you have a 7.5 inch, you know what? Let me think about that. Let's, yeah, this is at the 8 mark, and we still have a ways to go, so we do have to take one off. So here is the issue with this type of design is you may have to alter your in-betweens. That seems like the simplest thing to do because your petal is always going to be the same size. You know, I've already done the, you know, the calculation, and to get that lovely flower look, you need that amount. I mean, you could make this a little bit smaller, but okay, so let's get this back. So if I were to end at the pearl, and we'll add the fire polish. Now it looks super small. I'm just going to go through everything while it's sitting there with my needle. That's simple. And pull that through. And there we go. So let's move those back. I'm sure I'll be making more than one here. Okay, so we need the 2 fire polish like we had on the other side. And we're going to do the crimp tube because when we finish this off, we're going to add this piece here, and like we will crimp this first. So let's see what this gives us for a second here. Trying to get it on the screen so you can see the whole thing here. So there, yeah, this is almost 7, so it'll definitely be 7 with the clasp. Okay, so now we are going to turn around, and I almost feel like I want to flip it the other way so that I can go from right to left. So now we're going to use our crimp to hold our thread right here. So what you're going to do is just go through the fire polish, through the pearl, through the next fire polish, through the pearl. So you're basically going through everything except for the petals. That one's not through there. You can do it all at once, or you can wait and do multiple times to get it. Pull that tight, and I'm just gonna pull on that crimp bead. There we go. So there's the start. So I had these in order. So in case you're wondering about how many petals you need, it's 12 petals per section. So I had initially 4, but now I only have 3, so that's 36. Which, let me see how many comes on a strand here. And one with a label might tell me. Usually I hang on to the labels. Must have thrown it out. There may be 25 on those are not petals. Yeah, it doesn't, maybe they didn't come with a label. Okay, petal time. So now I flip this. Important to know. So if you look at these petals, they are heading down. So let's remember that. So our thread's going to go above, and then you're going to go through the 11-0 right there. Just watch your thread, because you've got a lot of thread, it might get caught. I want to check something here. Yeah, I guess if you look, I didn't put any bead above the last petal. So it looks a bit messy, but once everything's together, it'll look fine. So let's grab the next petal, go through the top of it. And go down to the next 11-0 bead. Oh, that was not friendship. I went to enlarge it, and it went dark. Oh, that's that one there. Again, it doesn't look like much when you're starting out like this, but once you start to get the bunches of beads on there, need one more. Go through the top. And now you're going to go through the set of 3 11 O's, that, and you can go through everything if you can manage it. If not, just, and you see how the thread is coming, you can see parts of the thread, not a big deal. We will tighten that with the stop bead later. Or you can leave it loose. That's an option as well. So then come out of the crystal, the opaque crystal. Let me see if I can tighten that a little. There. So actually we don't need these right now anymore. We just need the petals. Let's move those out of our way. I'm going to pull 3 petals out so that I know what I'm doing. I'm pretending I know what I'm doing. You guys know that, don't you? We're just goofing around. There's one. Second petal. We're going to go down to the second 11-0. There. And the third petal. We're going to go through everything. So the 3 11-0s, the clear crystal, the 2 delicas, the pearl, the fire polish, the next pearl, the 2 delicas, and the opaque crystal. So you're going to go through all of that. Grab our needle. Now they look like butterflies. You know what? When I was doing this earlier, I was thinking, hey, that looks interesting. I bet you I could do a dragonfly bracelet. That would be so cool. We have the technology. We can do it. Okay. Put the petal on. Go through the 11-0. Just hold that down. Petal. And the 11-0. And the final petal. And go through the 3, and go through everything. 3 11-0s. The clear crystal. I think I was missing, I guess. I probably should have put 2 That's my stop bead, but I'd have to go through the whole thing. I'm just going to leave it. I should have put some delicas in there. There. Then go through pearls, fire polish, pearls, fire polish, and through the tube bead. Pull that through. That. And I'm going to flip it to the other side. So let's take a look. It's starting to come along. Oh, this is going to be lovely. You know what? This is going to be the perfect size for me. If you see, that'll be enough for the clasp. Okay. So just move that. It's our extra thread if we need it. So now we're going to go through. So we came up through the tube bead. We're going to go around it. It's going to work like a stop bead, but it's going to stay on there. So it will be concealed. So we're going through everything till we come out. Oops. I went a little too far. There. Come out at the 3 11/0s. Pull that all the way through like that. So it might turn your tube bead over. That's fine. It'll sit in the bead cap really nicely. Okay, 3 petals. Now these petals are facing down, so that I'm going to go up through it, then go through the next 11/0. That. Go through bottom of the petal, go through the next 11/0, and you're set. That. And the final one of that set, go through the bottom. There, we're going to go through the crystal delicas, go through everything till we get to the other flower. Let's come out with this pearl. So it's starting to shape up. Okay. Go through the delicas, crystals, and the 3 11/0s. That. Let's grab 3 petals, go through the bottom side of it, go through the 11/0, and go through the bottom of the next one, go through the 11/0. My needle keeps moving off of the petals. They're really smooth. They're so beautiful. When I got them though, I thought they were, when I ordered them, I thought they were darker. So I was a tad bit disappointed, but you know what, now looking at them, the camera's not doing them justice. They are so gorgeous. They're very like subdued. It's nice. Let's pull that through and just make sure that's in the right orientation. This is starting to look amazing. Yay! Okay, 2 more seed beads. 11 O's. That. There. Okay, pick up 3. Down through the bottom. Go through the next 11 O. Like that. Through the bottom. Through the 11 O. And just make sure you see how it's gotten all hooked in the previous petals. Okay, that should do it. Why is that? It must be still hooked on something. There. And the final one for this pass. I think we have 2 more passes. No, 1 more pass after this. Go through everything, including the crimp tube. Look at that. This reminds me, I'm going to flip it, just reminds me of like a ballerina's tutu. So pretty. Can you tell I like the color pink? Trying to get these two. There we go. Come out of your. So put your needle through all of those beads. I'm gonna let's move that around a bit. See if it'll. There we go. So 3. Now let me check the orientation. Okay, so we need to go through the bottom of these. No, we need to go through the top. Go through the 11 O. There. Pick up another. Go through the next 11 O. That. And the final one, go through the top, go through the 3 11 O's, and whatever else you can get through with your needle. Let's come out the pearl. So this should be the final pass, I think. And it's looking pretty good. Just gonna play with them a bit to get them where you want. Let's see if yeah. So if you do pull on it, it does kind of get them a little tighter on there, like that. But you might want them to just sit like nicely draped kind of thing. So, okay, let's go through these 2 delicas in the crystal. Okay, we need 3. We're going to go through the top, through the 11 O, that, through the top, through the next 11 O, So I don't think we needed the extra strand of wingspan of thread. Go through these 3. So you can basically do whatever orientation you want of these beads to make your length. But the idea for me was to get a component of the petals so that it would look like a flower. And really, I would have loved to do a whole bracelet like this. But I think I showed you in the previous video, I did attempt that. And this is what I got. And it ended up, like, this part looks amazing. But you can see that this side is flat. And this took a whole strand of petals. So you want to extend your beads as much as you can. There. Okay, get our 3. This should be our last ones. And then we're done. Through the top. We are going to go through the 11-0. Go through the top. Go through the next 11-0. Go through the top. A poke to myself. Okay, this is the final one. We're going to go through the 3 11-0s, through everything. And through the tube bead, but don't go through your stop bead. Okay, so that's what your bracelet's going to look like. That. So actually 3 might do it. You could like make these smaller, maybe just put a pearl in between each, and then you could get more of these on there. I might try that for the next one. Okay, so now I'm going to go back down and I am going to put a knot in here. So I'm going around my crimp tube. I go through down to say my crystal and then do a knot like that. Okay, so I'm just going to bring my needle to the back, then wrap my thread around twice. Hold on to that so it doesn't skip a bead. There's a knot. Go through. Bead. And I think I might go through to the next pearls to make my knot. So skip your petals, just go through your 11-0s. No, that went through the, okay. This one's a little trickier because you're having to move your petals out of the way. Go through the 2 11-0s. There we go. And again went through the petal. I guess at this point it doesn't really matter if it does, but I want to be consistent here. So let's go through this crystal. There. And let's go through this, and we'll put a knot and hide it in the pearl. And that'll be final knot for this side. 1, 2. There. There. Okay, so let's cut this off. Yeah, I'm going to go to the side that I had to. This is going to be amazing. This is the first time I've done this, besides doing the little earrings, so that's why I get so excited. I'm like, I'm seeing it for the first time too. Definitely not what I had in my head, but it looks lovely. So we'll take our thread off. Actually, I'm just gonna cut the thread and get a little more and cut this off. Get this on the needle. That was in there. I'm surprised. I think because I used the thread burner, it was a little ball of thread. Yeah, let me get a bigger needle. Of course, this needle is bigger, but the eye is all bent. There we go. Let's make sure this is on there. Okay. So we're just going to go through and create a knot. So I'm going to go down this way because the thread is over here from that crimp bead. It's not a big deal. Let me go through these two guys. Do a knot. 1, 2. Go through. Come out here and make another knot. We should be good. Dot. 1, 2. Ooh, almost went the wrong way. There. Put this through these beads. It's a bigger needle, so it's a little bit snug. So take that off. So this is what we have. Like that. So these are our crimp tubes. They're going to go inside there, but you know what? I think I might just leave them. Like I was going to collapse them, press them down. I think I might just leave them that size so that it'll hold that in. We're going to close these with some pliers. That is lovely. Just like that. So in case you missed that, it's very quick. There's your crimp tube. Just pop that on there. And you see there's little slits on the sides there. And just squeeze it close. And you can see that's not going anywhere. That one's a little off. Let's see if I can straighten it out a bit. There we go. Let me see if that's going to fit my wrist. Oh yeah, it's going to be exactly. So we need 2 jump rings. I'm going to reduce this a bit. It's I find sometimes when I enlarge too much, my hand placement is off on the camera. So I apologize if that was the case. So let's make sure we get these guys on there correctly. Let me get another pair of pliers. These are oval gold-plated jump rings from Cast. Exciting news about Cast has been purchased by the company that makes the symbol components, like all the metallic beads, so like metallic ginkgo beads and the little findings that you can use to put in like peyote stitch and stuff like that. So it's lovely news. So there's that one side. Now let's go to the other side. Put that on. Let's open this one up. There. And that goes there. So this design, you don't have to use petals for it, but the thing I like about this design where you go through, you have parts of your bracelet that your thread will go through multiple times. So it's basically a threading design, and you can put whatever you want. So the initial design that I got this idea from was the Greta design from Potomac Beads. It was a kit they had, and basically you went through a couple of beads that were the same all the way through, and then you added multiple strands. So instead of, say, the petals, you have multiple strands of beads on each, and I just love it. I thought it was just brilliant to do that, and this is what this looks like. Oh. Can you? I definitely have a Barbie wrist when it comes to the size. But there you go. This is lovely. So I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned for more fun videos. If you have any ideas, let me know. I'm always interested to see what you're making. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Bye.